Hello viewers, welcome. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome. So today we are talking about something very close to my life. That is how village life teaches us strength and patience. If you have ever fetched water from a river, for example, or collected firewood or worked on a farm under the hot sun the whole day, working on a farm from morning from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., then you know how village life is not easy. That's a fact. But through those struggles, we are strong and very strong people today. Yes. Yeah, so in the village, nothing comes easy. That one everyone knows. Not like in urban areas where we just people spend the whole day seated. Everything they use machine, including laundry, washing. They use machine. We have dishwasher. We have water in the house. But in the village, you have to look for everything. Yeah, everything is free, but you have to go fetch water. You have to look for firewood. So in the village, nothing comes easy because you wake up in the morning, you walk a very long distance, you carry heavy loads, and sometimes you may feel tired, but you will still keep going. Yes, because that's where real strength comes from. Yeah. Welcome guys. Welcome guys. So today I will be sharing real village stories. Yes, some funny, some will be funny, some will be emotional, and some are real important life lessons. Yes. So as you listen to my story, I also would like you to share your own in the comments below. Kindly tell me where you grew up, whether you grew up in the village or in town. And if you grew up in the village, what was the hardest chores you used to do? Is it fetching water? Is it working at the farm? Yes, kindly share. Kindly share. Waiting for your comments. Yeah. Kindly share. So let me start with one hardest thing I used to do or we used to do in the village. Yes, I also have a video of the same. That is fetching water from the river. Yes, fetching water from the river. Kindly share your stories too. fetching water from the river. Everyone knows that in the village, water is not just nearby. Water is not nearby. So you had to wake up very early in the morning, as early as 6 a.m. Yes, before the sun came out. So I remember those days waking up while it was still cold and sometimes dark outside, because you'll have to go for water and come back, take shower and go to school. So by then my eyes were still heavy with sleep, but I knew I had to go because you cannot go to school without fetching water. That's a fact in the village. We used to carry empty jerrycans on our hands or heads. Yes, so as we go to the lake, ours we used to go to the lake, not river. So as we go to the lake, at first the jerrycans were very light, felt light. Yes, but we definitely knew that on the way back, they will feel like stones inside because we are going to fill water. Yeah, and the journey to the lake was not that short. We walked through small paths, passing farms, bushes, and tall sisal plants. Sometimes we walked with friends and we talked to make the journey feel a little bit shorter. Yes. So as we continue, when the sun started rising, the heat became strong sometimes. We start sweating. Yes. Yeah. So and sometimes we'll start running down. The sweat will start running down our faces. But there was no turning back. We used to go, 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 go because we had one goal, that is to fetch water. Yeah. It was a long journey, a short journey, but a long one. So when we finally reached the river, it was always busy, 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 busy. Some were washing clothes, some were bathing, some were fetching water, just like us, and some were washing utensils, and so forth. Yeah. Sometimes it gets to a point that we had to wait in line because people were really, really many and busy. So by the time the waiting taught us patience because as young kids we used to rush everything to go the way we planned. Yes. So we had to wait because everyone needed water. We'll wait and then fill our jerrycans. And after filling our jerrycans, the real struggle begin, which is carrying the jerrycan back home. Really struggle. Kindly share if you've ever fetched water from a river, lake, and how was the journey? Yes. Kindly share. Kindly share. A minute. Sorry about the noise. Yes. So where did we left at? Yes, after filling the jerrycan, the real struggle begins. Carrying the jerrycan back at home because the water we carry is very, very heavy. You can imagine of 20 liters of jerrycan on your head and the sun is out. Yes. You can imagine climbing a mountain with the 20 liters of jerrycan. So the water felt very, very heavy, but every step we made felt slow. And sometimes my neck, this side, hurts. My hands become tired, but we soldier on despite the pain. We kept walking and walking and walking because at home the water was so much needed. It was needed for cooking, for drinking, and also for cleaning. Yes. So that is where I learned patience, and also that is where I learned strength. Yes. Kindly share where did you grow up, in the village or in town? And if in the village, what kind of activities or chores you used to do? Is it fetching water? Is it fetching firewood? Is it working at the farm? With me, I used to do all of that. I used to fetch firewood. I used to clean. I used to go to the farm. I used to fetch water. Yes. Kindly share where you grew up. I'm going to share one funny story I experienced while carrying water. One day something really funny happened while I was carrying water. I had filled my jerrycan, 20 liters jerrycan, and started walking home proudly, thinking that I was very strong that particular day. But on the way, the ground was muddy because it rained the whole night. Therefore, I stepped on a slippery place. And before I knew it, boom, I was down together with my jerrycan. Because it was somehow like a steepy place, the jerrycan rolled away and some water spilled. I could not help but just sit there and watched. Yes. Some of my friends I went with to fetch water laughed at me. I also laughed because it was funny. I even could not stop laughing despite the fact that I was tired. So that's the day I learned that village life can humble you very quickly. But it was fun at the same time. I just took my jerrycan, put on my head, and went home with the water halfway. Yes. Kindly share in the chat, where did you grow up? In town or in the village? Yes. So that's what I can remember now about fetching water at the lake. Kindly share any experience you have about fetching water. Let me get drinking water a minute. Do you have village life experience? Funny one. Do you have village life experience? Funny village life experience you share? We have birds around. You can hear them singing around. So apart from fetching water, we also have another story about collecting firewood. Collecting firewood also. So we have fetching water, collecting firewood, and working at the farm. Eh? So we have collecting firewood also. These are also I consider as another hard task. Yes, because the issue of collecting firewood is a must in the village because cooking in the village mostly used firewood. So that one means that we had to go into the bush. For us, we used to go to on top of the mountain looking for firewood. Yes, we used to go and collect dry sticks. So as we go along the way, we used to carry ropes and pangas for cutting fire for cutting the trees, dry trees. Yes. So we go inside the deep bushes looking for dry wood, and we used to go in the afternoon hours, just immediately after lunch, because the place was far away from where we lived. So as we go to the bush, sometimes we used to fear snakes. Every sound, is it whether it is a bird, any sound coming from the bush made us alert. So we gathered stick one by one until we had enough to make a big bundle like this. Yes. Yeah. So everyone will gather around firewood, and thereafter the hardest part in collecting firewood was carrying it back home. Yes, carrying the firewood back home because it was really heavy, more than the 20 liters jerrycan of water. It's pressed on the head and the shoulders because you will tie it to the rope as long, a long bundle. It was really heavy and pressed used to pressed on our heads and shoulders, but we kept on walking slowly and slowly. Yes, because in the evening they will ask you for firewood. Yeah, so it was our responsibility to collect firewood, to fetch water. I mean, to collect firewood and go to the farm. Yes, and therefore the responsibility we used to do taught us courage and strength. Yeah. Yes. Have you ever collected firewood in your life, or working at the farm, or fetching water? Kindly share. Kindly share. Kindly share in the comments. So we learned a lot during those days in the village because we had to do almost all responsibilities. We had to fetch water, we had to collect firewood, we had to work in the farm, cook, wash utensils, we do laundry, wash clothes, we clean the compound, and also at the same time take care of younger siblings. Yes. Yeah. Those are responsibilities that we used to do. It was really, really hard. And sometimes I wish I could just rest, but there was always work. No time in the village, there is no time to rest. In the morning, you go for water, you come back, clean compound, you cook. Afternoon, you go for firewood, you come back, you clean again, and then you prepare dinner for the family. Yes, it was a whole responsibility. So sometimes I wish I could just have a rest. Yes. So looking back at those days, I realized that the responsibilities I used to do made me whom I am today. They made me strong, and they also taught me respect. They also taught me patience. They taught me the responsibilities, taught me hard work, and also gratitude from the little things I have. Yes, sometimes may say that village life is hard, but it builds it builds people and make them strong. Yes. Yeah. Any experience on village life you have, kindly share. Kindly share any experience of village life. Yes, kindly share. We all know that growing up in the village, helping or responsibility is not a choice, but it was part of daily life. When we wake up in the morning, we could not wait to be told, go fetch water, go look for firewood. No, it was our responsibility from cooking, cleaning, fetching water, even taking care of the siblings. Because every small task taught us something important. Yes. Whether you complain, whether you felt tired, you had no choice but to do it. Yes. So in the village, what I can say that in many families, children start helping in the kitchen at a young age. Let's say like 10-year old. Yes, at 10 years, you know how to wash utensils, wash clothes, fetch firewood, fetch water, firewood. Yes, I also remember at that age, I was told to prepare food, but not that for visitors or many people, two or three, or my siblings. Sometimes I used to help in peeling vegetables or lighting fire. Yes. And by then I can say that cooking at that age cooking with firewood was not easy because we had to blow air into the fire to make it burn. Like, yes. And sometimes, when you use firewood, there is a lot of smoke. And sometimes smoke entered our eyes, my eyes, and tears starting rolling. That is the disadvantage we have of cooking with firewood. You find yourself crying with no reason. Yes, because of the smoke. Yeah. And as you cook, of course, we have as we cook, especially in the at that younger age, you cannot be perfect in cooking. Yes, you have to do many mistakes for you to as you learn along the way. Sometimes the food gets burned. Sometimes you can add a lot of salt or water. But as you go, you keep on doing it every day, you learn. Yes. Yeah. So I would like to know, did you help cooking when you were young? Or at what age did you start cooking? And what food did you cook first? Is it tea, porridge, ugali, or skuma wiki? Kindly share. Kindly share. So apart from fetching water, collecting firewood, we also have washing clothes, washing utensils. Another one is taking care of younger siblings. Yes, taking care of younger siblings. Yeah. So as we know, in many homes, especially in the villages, in towns we people take care of our siblings, but in the village, it is the responsibility of the older siblings to take care of the younger ones. Yes. And in many, many homes, older children help take care of younger ones. Yeah. So I remember when I was young being told to watch over my younger siblings. Yes, because adults used to go to farm, others at work or businesses. Yes. So as you know, taking care of siblings sometimes means you carry the baby at your back. You carry baby on the back, making sure that they feed well, they sleep, or not run into any danger around. Sometimes the baby cries for a long time, but you have no choice but to take care of him or her. You'll end up singing for the baby. You tried calming them down, but in vain. Yes. So I think those are the kind of chores we used to do. Yes. Did you take care of your younger brothers or sisters? Did you take care of your younger brothers or sisters? Kindly share. Kindly share. So another responsibility we used to do is cleaning compound. Cleaning the compound is also key, especially in the morning. After fetching water, you start by fetching water and then you clean compound every morning. Yeah, you can. We use sometimes we use to do it immediately after waking up when you have when you have enough water around. Yes, we use brooms to sweep. Yeah, we use broomsticks. We used to use broomsticks those days. So those days we were not using the modern brooms, but we use brooms made from stick. They were made with the dry palm leaves or thick sticks tied together. Sticks tied together with the rope. Yes. And sometimes when the broom became old, we will make them ourselves. We don't buy, we make them ourselves. Yes. So when you wake up, you start sweeping from one corner to the end. Whether the compound is big or small, you have to sweep the whole compound, which took a long time to finish. Yes. Because we had to collect everything in the compound and pile them as one pile. Yes. At times, I remember at times cleaning felt very hard on us, especially during the dry season, because when you sweep, the dust was too much. And as you sweep, the dust creates like a big cloud. Yes, but sometimes when you sweep, especially dried leaves, wind blew that back to the where we had already cleaned. We felt that it was somehow frustrating. You sweep one place more than thrice or four times, and wind brings that back again. You can imagine. But despite of that, we kept sweeping. Other days during the rainy season, mud became the biggest challenge because you cannot sweep the dry leaves on a muddy, but you have to sweep. You have to sweep. So those days taught us really patient. Yes, patience. Because we learned that work does not always go as planned, but we still continue despite the challenges. Yeah. I can remember there was one day, after working very hard sweeping the compound, I finally finished. Yes, and I looked at the compound proudly. Everything was neatly arranged and very, very clean. But suddenly, strong wind started blowing. Before I finished, a strong wind started blowing, and leaves started flying everywhere again. Dry leaves everywhere after I finished sweeping. So I felt like all my hard work had disappeared in seconds. So I had to start again. I had to start again sweeping. And that is what we learn in our life. Sometimes life starts over again, no matter how hard you worked for it. Yes. Yeah, so we used to sweep the compound from one corner to the next. After finishing sweeping, we collect the rubbish. We gather all the dirt, including dry leaves and everything, in one big pile. Dry leaves, small sticks, pepper pieces, and small, small stones. So sometimes we used to burn the rubbish, but you cannot burn everything. So we carry others far away to dispose them somewhere else. Yeah, yeah. So I remember back then when I was young, cleaning the compound felt like I used to feel that it is somehow punishment because as children we wished we could play instead of working. But when I think of it today, I look back and understand sometimes something very, very important, which is cleaning the compound, and I see is as a discipline because it taught me respect for our home, and now for my respect for my home because I do it now. Uncle Dan, welcome. Hi. I do it now. And also it taught me that every small task matters a lot. Yes. Welcome, Uncle Dan channel. I'm sharing about the task we used to do when we were young. That is fetching water, collecting firewood, sweeping compound. Kindly share any chores you did when you were young, taking care of the younger ones also. Uncle Dan channel, where did you grow up, in the village or in town? Kindly share. Which village is this? Uncle Dan is asking which village is this. We are in Kilifi, Uncle Dan. We are in Kilifi. East Africa, Kenya. That is where we are. Kindly share your village life experience, Uncle Dan, if you have any. That is what we are sharing now. We are sharing a story about cleaning the compound with the traditional brooms. Thank you so much. You are welcome. Uncle Dan, did you enjoy cleaning the compound when you were young? Did you enjoy cleaning the compound when you were young? Kindly share. I was sharing about early morning cleaning routine, whereby we used to clean compound from one corner to the other. That is what I was sharing. Did you clean your compound when you were young? And how was the experience? Kindly share. Kindly share. Oh, that's nice. And Koldan is saying that all the chores you explained, I too did that. Yeah, that's nice. It was a good experience, really good experience, because it taught us to be strong, patient. Yes, we learned a lot through the chores that we used to do. Yeah, that's a fact. And we all know that growing up, many of us did not just sit and relax. Yes, we were given responsibilities and we were used to those responsibilities. We help in the kitchen by cooking, we help in fetching water, we also help in cleaning the compound as I shared. Yes. And also we took care of the siblings and supported our old parents at times. Yes. So during yeah, I was forgetting about that, Uncle Dan. I grew up in the village, but I also did milking of the cows. Yeah, yes, yeah, you are right. There is also milking of cows in the village, yeah. Milking of cows in the village. You are right. You are right. Milking of cows, milking of goats. Yes, I was forgetting about that. Thank you so much for reminding me. Thank you so much for reminding me. Yes. Yes, and I remember that milking cows usually starts very early in the morning or in the evening. Others used to do it twice, morning and evening or morning alone. Very early in the morning before the sun rose. Everyone is awake. Yes, that's right. I was forgetting about milking the cows. Yeah. And also making cows was not the only responsibility. There was also taking care of the cows. For example, feeding them, we have giving them water, cleaning the cow shed, and also taking them outside to graze, taking them to the field to graze. Yes, yeah, that's right. So when helping our family, we learned so many lessons when we were young that we can look back to. For example, responsibility, because yes. So as I was saying, we learned about responsibility because when parents give you work to do, like fetching water or milking cows, you have to do it, and you had to finish it. Yes, because nobody will follow you everywhere. When you are given a responsibility by your parents, they trust you to do your part. Yes. So sometimes you can feel nervous, or especially when you are told to take care of your younger siblings. Like for me, when I was told to take care of my younger siblings, I remember I felt nervous and what will happen. Yes. But with this time, when slowly I learned to pay attention, to protect them, and take care of them. That is what we call responsibility. Responsibility is doing what we are supposed to do, even when the person who has given you the responsibility is not around. Yes. So with the responsibility makes you reliable, and also it makes people to trust you. Yes. So kindly share, what responsibility did your parents give you when you were young? Apart from milking cows, fetching water, going to the farm, is there any responsibility you are given? Kindly share in the comments. So helping family also taught us about teamwork, because in the village, in many homes, work is shared among siblings or among family members. You may find that others are going for water, some are going to the farm, some are remaining at home to do cleaning and cook breakfast. Others are washing utensils. Yes, that is it. And everyone had a role to play, because we know that when everyone works together, it becomes easier. The work becomes easier. Yes, and also teamwork. Teamwork means helping each other, supporting one another, and not leaving all the work to one person. Yes, yeah. It also taught us about respect for your parents or adults. Yes. So when you help your parents, it shows respect. Yes. Yeah. So that is what I learned when I was young, helping my parents. Responsibility, respect, humility, patience. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Excuse me. Sorry. So apart from the responsibility I've talked about, we also have washing clothes. We also have washing clothes. We used to either wash clothes at home or at the lake, river. Yeah, so before we go to the river or lake, we used to gather all the dirty clothes. Sometimes the pile was very, very big with school uniforms, with the bed sheets, with the towels, and everyday clothes. So we used to pack them together in a basin or bucket and start the journey going to the river. We go to the river, wash, and when we finish, we carry the clothes back home to dry. Yes. And by the way, we used to walk barefoot, no shoes, and balancing the basin on the head with the white heavy clothes. Very difficult. Yeah. Yes. So when you go to the river, you will find so many people washing at the same time, especially on weekends like Saturdays or Sunday. Yes, and you'll find them washing out at the riverbanks on stones. Yes. Yeah. The hardest task I can share is scrubbing the clothes, especially for younger siblings because they used to play in mud. Yeah. So scrubbing clothes on stone was the hardest part. Scrubbing with my hands on stone. So we used to rub soap onto the clothes and pressed them hard against the stone. Yes, and we scrub back and forth again and again and again and again until your hands become tired. But we keep on. We keep on. Yes. Keep on and scrub harder and harder until the dirt come out. Yes. Because if you rush the clothes, the dirt will stay. And if you rub carefully, the clothes became clean. We do one by one until we finish. Yes. So after scrubbing, we rinse. We put them in the bucket or basin. Yes, before putting in we squeeze the water out to reduce the weight as we head back home. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So what I can share about life lesson I learned about washing clothes with my hands, and I still do it up to today, is hard work. I learned about hard work because clean clothes required effort. Yes, that one we all know. I learned about patience because you have to take your time for that to come out, to disappear quickly. It does not disappear as quickly as you want, but you have to be patient and rub, scrub, and scrub. I also learned about discipline because washing had to be done regularly. Every weekend, we had to go and wash clothes at the lake every weekend. And sometimes when schools were closed, we used to go every day. I also learned about responsibility because everyone needed clean clothes, like especially my siblings. There is also perseverance because as much as you are tired, you have to finish the work. Yes. Even today, as an adult, I face challenges, but I remember the strength I built from such tasks when I was young. It keeps me going, and going. Yes. So therefore, washing clothes may look like a small task, but it builds strength, patience, and discipline. I would like to know in the comments, did you enjoy washing clothes? Did you enjoy washing clothes when you are young, using your hands? Did you enjoy washing clothes when you are young? And are you still using hands in washing clothes until today? Kindly share. So there is this show also we used to do is another show we used to do is weeding, weeding the farm, weeding the farm. This is the hardest show I used to do. I did not like it, but I had no choice. Yes, and we all know that if you grew up in the village, you know that farming was part of the daily life. And after planting crops, the next big job was always weeding. Yes, it was not an easy job because it requires strength, patience, and determination. Yes. Did you weed the farm when you were growing up? I don't know if Uncle Dan channel is still around. Did you weed the farm when you were growing up? Kindly share. Kindly share. So we all know that weeding usually started very early in the morning. Very early in the morning. We used to wake up before the sun became too hot, as early as 6 a.m. Yes. So we wake up early in the morning. We carry tools like hoes and small pangas. We carry jembes. Yes, and walk to the farm. As you walk to the farm, the sound you could hear was just birds singing. Yes. Yeah. So when you go to the farm, when you reach there, when you reach at the farm, the first thing you notice is weeds everywhere because they grow very fast. Weeds grow very faster than crops. We took our jembes and start the work. You dig the weed, you lift it, remove the sand, and you throw it away. That is what we used to do. You dig, you remove the weed, separate the weed from the soil. Separate the weed from the soil and throw the weed away. We do that one repeatedly. Yes. Sometimes we used to work the whole day. They bring food to the farm. We don't go back home for lunch. They bring food to the farm from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yes. Yes. That is the hardest chores I did when I was young, weeding at the farm. So I remember one day when I was weeding, something funny really happened. Yes. I pulled out not just weeds, but also the maize crop itself. So when I looked closely, after removing it from the soil, I realized that I had removed young maize plants by mistake. Everyone looked at me. Others laughed, and others teased me that I don't know how to separate maize crop from the weeds. Yeah, so I learned that paying attention is key while working. Every mistake we do, we learn a lesson. Yes. Yeah. So we go to the farm as a family. Only one person will remain at home to prepare lunch for us. Yes. Yeah. It was not an easy job. Removing weeds may seem like small work, but it protects crops. Yes. Removing weeds protects crops. Yeah. That's what I can share about farm work. That's what I can share about farm work. Yeah, so I've talked about fetching water, collecting firewood. I've shared about washing clothes by hand, about weeding or farming. So let's discuss about feeding chicken. That one I also do up until today. That one I am doing even right now. Feeding the chicken. Yes. Feeding the chicken. I'm taking care of the chicken. Did your family keep chickens when you were growing up? Kindly share. And this activity normally starts very early in the morning before anything else. You start by feeding the chicken, cleaning their sleeping area where they sleep. Yes. So you wake up in the morning, you go to where they sleep, open the door, they they come outside, you feed them, you give them grains, maize, then you sweep their sleeping area. Yes. So as you clean, you collect eggs. That is if there is any. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That is what I can share about uh, village chores that we used to do. Kindly share if there is any I've forgotten. Let me get a minute. I get water. Drinking water. Not really, Uncle Dan. Not yet. Yeah, it will happen soon. No hurry. Thanks for the assurance. Thanks for the assurance. So I think I'm ending my live, and as we come to the end of this live stream, I want to remind everyone that village life is not easy the way we think, but it is good because it teaches us strength, patience, and responsibility. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing your stories, your laughter, and your memories. If you enjoyed this live, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who understands village life. Until next time, stay strong and thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate for your time. Bye.